Warning, this video might bring back memories from your past and put them under different light. If you start feeling uncomfortable while watching this video, don't hesitate to click off and find entertainment somewhere else.
Adobe officially killed Flash on December 31, 2020, and with it, came down crashing our most beloved Flash games. It's undeniable that Flash games have been a big part of almost all of our childhoods, no matter if you played them at home, at your cousin's house or at school. They were big, but on December 31 of 2020, they were gone. And with them, gone were our memories as well. But there was a light at the end of the tunnel, a savior, if you will. And thanks to a man named Ben Lottimore, more than 1.42 terabytes worth of Flash games were saved from oblivion, and one of them is a little game called Red Remover. Now you might remember this game from when you were a kid, and if you do, you also remember something quite peculiar about it. Maybe you can't wrap your head around it as it's been so long since you've played it, but you know there was something off about this game. And if you haven't stumbled upon this little game when you were a kid, but are rather curious about its mysteries, let me quickly walk you through it, fill you in about its secrets. Upon opening the game, we are greeted by an eerie track, the popular Comfortable Mystery 3, composed by Kevin MacLeod. Take a listen. The gameplay itself is pretty straightforward. Remove all red shapes by clicking on them or knocking them off screen. The green shapes are not allowed to fall, the blue ones don't care about anything, and the deep reds can't be removed through clicking. The eeriness is further propagated by the creepy gray shapes blinking in the background. The first one appears in level 7, and it starts to get closer and closer in the next 3 levels, until level 10 when it's uncomfortably close, staring deeply at your soul. They are never seen again until levels 25 and 26, where you can spot 3 of these same shapes, roughly the same size, sitting in the background. They make another appearance in level 36 before they are never seen again. They strangely appear in all 5 bonus levels of the game. Weird. Alright, these shapes are creepy and all, but they aren't the main focus of this game's scare factor. Beginning with level 10, after the gray shape closes in, you begin unlocking bonus features every 10 levels. Each one of these bonuses unlocks as a button in the level select menu, the first of which is already quite strange. It is a Morse code message. This is what it sounds like. The Morse code on the button differs from the actual message. It spells out "Gauze," which is simply the name of the developer. But the recording, on the other hand, initially appears to be gibberish. It spells out QSLTU, test, RN1TN, test. This is our first clue. The second bonus is a new set of emoticon faces you can put on your shapes. There's nothing creepy about them, they're actually kind of cute. The third unlock asks you to try to beat all levels on par, meaning with the minimum amount of clicks required to complete each level. Beating all levels on or under par, unfortunately, unlocks nothing. After beating level 40, you unlock bonus mode, which gives you the huge handicap of blacking out your vision, except for a small circle around your cursor, kind of like a flashlight of sorts, a bit unnerving. The level layouts remain the same, and you're asked to beat all the previous levels in this mode. Doing so unlocks 5 final levels. After finally beating these, the mystery thickens, the final bonus is revealed, and it is as unnerving as it gets.
Внимание! Говорит и показывает Москва. Работают все центральные каналы телевидения. Смотрите и слушайте Москву.
This is all the game tells us, that is all, there are no more secrets, no more messages. I even inspected the game files myself, and there was nothing of interest that I could find. This is all, a series of cryptic messages and weird visuals, disguised as a colorful puzzle game made for kids. So, what does this all mean? What's the overarching story? Or what's the hidden message? For that, I did some digging. The first clue to investigate was that creepy radio voice thing. Turns out it is an old and popular Russian broadcasting phrase that translates to "Attention. Moscow speaks and shows." All central television channels are working now. Watch and listen to Moscow. This was the calling card of Yuri Levitin, the primary Soviet radio announcer during and after World War II. I have left his Wikipedia page in the description for you to read more about. We found our second clue. Going back to the audio Morse code translation. QSLTU, test, RN1TN, test. The first bit translates to confirmation of contact, thank you. Nowadays, these codes are used in ham radio, but historically they've been used during World War II. RN1TN, on the other hand, is the call sign for an amateur Russian broadcast station. With these clues in mind, we can clearly see the parallels to Soviet Russia. The Morse code and the broadcast both have not so subtle nods to communism. But what would such things do in a game all about getting rid of some red shapes on your screen? Let's go back a little bit. The first level is a tutorial. It reads, "Red shapes are miserable, remove them all by clicking on them." In contrast, the third level's tutorial reads, "Green shapes are lovely. Keep them on the screen." Notice the capitalization. In red shapes, only the color red is capitalized. In green shapes, on the other hand, both words are capitalized. If we keep only the capitalized words, we are left with red miserable, green shapes lovely. Why does Gauze, our developer, hate the color red so much then? Well, it all ties back with our two little clues, the Morse code and the broadcast segment. The color red became the color most symbolic of socialism in the 19th century and was later adopted by the Soviets, becoming the representative color of the communist states throughout the 20th century. The game Red Remover literally asks us to remove the color red, saying in all caps that it's miserable, making direct parallels to communism in the 20th century. The game in turn is a letter to the world, asking us to forget our communist past, ditch it, remove it from our system. The Reds are miserable, remove them all, it says. Throw them down into the ever-growing pit of failed ideologies and move on to find peace and prosperity somewhere else. Wherever that may turn out to be.